I recently attended my friend's wedding that had a photo booth. Everyone was using it throughout the reception and seemed to be having a blast. I noticed the owner didn't really have to do much work, and it got me thinking, how much money did he make from this event, and how much work truly goes into running a photo booth? Today we're talking to Josh from the YouTube channel Photo Booth International, who is a photo booth expert and has over 10 years of experience. At his peak, he had over 20 photo booths and did over 800 events in a single year. We're gonna see how much profit you could potentially make from photo booths and what is needed to get started making money from photo booths today. Also, huge thanks to Josh for all the great advice and tips during the interview. Please show him some love and check out his great videos all about photo booths and everything you need to know in order to get started. Now, let's jump right into the interview. All right, so we have Josh right here, and we're just gonna jump right into the interview. And the first one to start off the interview is, how long have you been in the photo booth business for?
So I built my first photo booth in November of 2012. So I've been in the industry now for over 10 years. Or this year will be the 10th year, actually, yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. And how many photo booths do you currently own?
So right now, so at our peak when we were crushing it, I think 2015, we had about 20 photo booths. We did 800 events in 1 year. It was insane.
Wow, that's quite a bit. I guess we'll dive more into that later on about managing all those different events and stuff. But I guess going further with the questions, what's like your clients typically using the photo booths for? Like what kind of events?
We carved out a niche in the corporate events where we were doing a lot of trade shows and expos. So imagine a company goes to an expo, right? And they spend, $30,000, $40,000 on the 10 by 10 space to exhibit their products. And so they obviously want more people to come into their space so they can sell them their products and show it off. So we were taking the photo booth. They would hire us to take the photo booth into their space. They would bring a model and come, whether it's a girl or a boy, depending on what type of trade show it was. And they would have them, the model, like attract people to come into their booth, take a picture with the model. Sometimes, like the guys, they would have like a shirtless guy, like real, working out and all that stuff. And like we got hired by Poopery. I remember it was a $20,000 gig that we did, and they did a trade show in Dallas. So they had a model there, and the audience was older, like a bit older audience that owned boutiques. And so the Poopery, the poop spray. I don't know if you know about that, but they would want the boutique owners to come into their booth so they can talk to them about the product. So they would the model would attract them to come inside. Hey, let's take a picture, type in their email address to get the photo emailed to them. They were collecting the email address. So they were getting thousands of emails every single day. And then the model would like hand them over to the salespeople. So that's what we ended up, we ended up doing a lot of those because other companies saw us doing that. But that's just one, a type of event. I mean, there's weddings, obviously that's the biggest one, quinceañeras, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, baby showers, graduation parties, Christmas parties, massive. We did like 80 events in December. So there's a lot of, you can pick and choose whichever one. There's a lot of different events that's out there, and a lot of money to be made.
That's great to hear. So it sounds like there's not just, I feel like when people think of photo booth initially, it's like weddings or birthdays, but there's a lot more to it, like you said, like corporate events. And I'm assuming there's a lot more opportunity and money to be made in these larger events, especially working with corporations then.
Yeah, the corporations, I mean, they just want something there, especially like a corporation Christmas party. We did one for Capital One call center. There was like 1,000 people there. And that was just like the automotive division. And they spent like $10,000 for like, I think it was 3 photo booths. So it was like 3 photo booths at the same event, set up like right next to each other to manage it, So it's fun. You get to go and have cake and food and, don't drink, keep it professional. Yeah.
That's funny. But yeah, so I guess kind of moving on to the next question, why did you get started with photo booths instead of like the many of other side hustles out there? How did you end up choosing it?
So I was working at a bank. I was a teller at Bank of America. It was an in-store location, which means it was like inside a grocery store. And so when things started turning back in like 2008, like those were the ones that got cut first. But yeah, I was working there. The other teller was a DJ, so I would go and help him on the weekends, make some extra cash. DJing. So I was exposed to like going to events and stuff like that, and seeing what it takes to like set up and make sure you're on time and be professional, and how to dress, and just setting up, all that kind of stuff. Ended up starting my own DJ business because he was getting so busy, and then we ended up separating. Then I saw someone bring a photo booth at an event, and I was like, oh, okay, that's really cool. All the people are like flocking to it, to the, they're not on the dance floor, they're at the photo booth, right? So I'm like, man, what's going on? So I looked into it. I said, hey, they're making more money than me, and they're doing a lot less work than me. Because as the DJ, you got to meet with the bride and groom. You got to go over all the songs, what not to play, what to play, and then you got to deal with all the bridesmaids and what songs they want, and like the mom and dad. I paid for the DJ, so you should play something totally random that nobody cares about. It's gonna like wipe out the dance floor. So we ended up building our first photo booth in 2012 December, and that ended up doing more than the DJ business. So I let go of the DJ business, and then the selfie song came out around then. That kind of helped the whole thing. So the timing was real good,
Would you say it was almost like a no-brainer then going to the photo booth business, because more money, and then also you're saying less hours and less like demanding customers then?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you can get to the event after the event started, right? As a DJ, you got to be set up. The wedding started at 4 o'clock. You got to be there at 2 o'clock setting up, right? But you're not playing music till 7 o'clock. So it's like so much time wasted. Like with the photo booth, you can roll in there like, hey, if you got a 7 to 10, 3 hours, let's say you're charging $750 for 3 hours, you can pull in there at 6 o'clock, because you're usually setting off in a corner, and it's not a lot of equipment. You just have a case on wheels. You're rolling while people are having cocktail hour or something like that. You can get set up.
Oh, wow. And would you say it basically takes one person to manage a photo booth, or do you need like a team of people?
Well, when I got started 10 years ago, like the booths were like massive and they weighed so much. You definitely had to have a pickup truck and you had to have 2 people. Now, I personally designed the booth called the Chloe photo booth. It's beautiful. I designed it in 2020. Something that's affordable. It's a great starter booth. It can fit into any 4-door car. We have over 300 people that are running it now, and they're all super successful with it. So it can be a one-person job. A single woman operator can operate it. A single person. You have a hatchback. We've gotten into Golfs. I mean, all types of vehicles can accommodate that booth now.
Okay, that's great to hear. And then I guess kind of leading on that question, like what do you need in order to get started with this photo booth business today?
Well, you need to get a photo booth, first of all. You need to have the right right equipment, and then the right information to start your business. At Photo Booth International, we sell you every single thing you need to get started. So we give you the photo booth. We sell you the photo booth. You get access to contracts. You get access to a CRM. Get access to banking. We have LLC discounts to get you set up. You have a supportive Facebook group. I made 200 videos myself. I've been on YouTube for like 7 years now. We just crossed like 25,000 subs. So excited for that. So we give a lot of education. I'm really passionate about helping people not make the same mistakes that we did, because nobody taught us how to hire people. Nobody taught us how to do payroll. Nobody taught us accounting. Nobody taught us like which bank to get. So we give all the resources available. You just got to put in the effort. We give you the tools and you put in the effort, and you can build your empire.
Okay, that's great to hear. And we'll definitely leave a link to your website down below if anyone wants to check that out. Would you say, what kind of like models of photo booths should people look at? I guess like different other companies out there, other models. Is there certain ones that is easier to use when you're first getting started?
Well, you can piece it together, and I like to always say you pay in time or you pay in money. Now we all know we're all short of time. I'm busy, you're busy, your audience is busy, right? It's a safer, more chance of success if you buy a turnkey package from, Photo Booth International, where you're going to get everything you need, and it's one place to get everything that you're going to need to be successful. If you're starting off, some people may not have a budget. Typically, most people spend about $10,000 on a photo booth with us. But if you can't afford something like that, we do have financing. So if you have at least a 650 credit score, we can get you financed. Your monthly payments end up being around $400 to $500 So you just do one event for the month that can cover your payment, and anything else after that, you can pocket that or you can put it towards the photo booth. On the low end, you can end up spending $5,000 for the Chloe. On the high end, you can end up spending $12,000 for the Mirror 4 photo booth. That's a tall, about 6 foot, full length mirror booth. Definitely going to need a van or pickup truck to move that one around, though, and you need 2 people.
Okay, and yeah, you kind of answered my next question. The typical cost to start up, so it looks like it'd be anywhere from like 5,000 on the low end up to 10,000 then.
Mm-hmm. So if let's say you do the Chloe, right? You do 5,000 on the Chloe. Let's say, you do $400 per an event. 13 events and it's paid off, and $400 is on the low end. That could be like a birthday party or baby shower, one of those type of events. Typically when you deal with weddings, they're spending anywhere between, $500 to $1,000 for the photo booth. And that's already carved out in the bride's budget ahead of time. If you're a bride and you're planning a wedding, okay, photo booth gonna be roughly $500 to $1,000. That's already budgeted for that.
Okay, that's great to hear. And I guess kind of going back to what is included with like these packages, like what's everything you need in order to get started? And I briefly mentioned it before, like the photo booth. Sounds like you're going to need some kind of vehicle to bring it to and from. What about like, I guess the cameras in it? Is there like an iPad? Do you need LLC? I guess, are you able to go into a little bit more details on that?
Yeah, for sure. So we don't sell iPad boots. We kind of steered away from that. It is getting real popular now, but the fact of the matter is that, we have the Omni Hotel downtown Dallas, right? And every city has major hotels where they throw events. These hotels, if you throw in an event there, you're spending $50,000, $100,000, right? If you're a bride that spends $75,000 on her wedding and somebody rolls up there with an iPad, you're going to feel some kind of way about that. There's a certain market for that. Okay.
Definitely.
Everybody wants to come in and get the cheapest thing and serve the cheapest customer, right? As humans, we are taught to be cheap. We are taught to be scared of cameras and shy, right? There's a whole other market of people that are willing to pay higher prices that need to be serviced by someone. So I recommend, if you're going to come in, you can go get an iPad at Best Buy today and download an app and you can start a photo booth business. Yeah, anybody can do that. But you want to grow something big, you want to turn it into something full-time, you need to do it properly. The proper way is you need to get a proper photo booth with a good camera, good support. So the booths that we have, they either have, the Chloe photo booth has a webcam. It's a very high-end webcam. It's actually the webcam that I'm using right now to shoot this video. It's a 14 megapixel one. It's an entry-level booth. It will get you through the getting started with your business. There is going to be a demand for people that just have casual events, social events, that kind of stuff, that want that photo booth. That's going to come with the camera, the computer, the printer, the carrying case, the touch screen. It's already built in. So it's a full like desktop computer that you're getting. Then next up from that, you can go into like we're actually coming out with the Chloe DSLR, where we took a DSLR camera, we put it into the Chloe booth frame. So that's coming soon. And then the next one will be like a prime photo booth. That's around $7,500, $8,000. And so as far as the equipment side, that's all you're going to get there with the computer, camera, touchscreen, printer, case, flash, umbrella, maybe 1 or 2 things I may be forgetting. On the business side of things, that's where we really, we give you everything. So CRM to run your business. So basically it's one piece of software that can manage your booking, your calendar, sending invoices, taking payments, doing schedules, sending events to employees if you want to hire someone, sending follow-up reminders, signing contracts, all that stuff in one software. Then we have the bank, we have a discount with the bank account. So we give you, we have an app. So when you download the app for your phone, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, step by step and set up your business. So we've contacted with an online bank called Bank Novo. You get a link to that. You can set up your bank account. LLC, we're working with Zen Business. We give a discount. We can get a 10% discount, a 20% discount on LLC setup. Then the rest of the stuff is mainly like setting up your social media, setting up your Facebook ads. We have a video on our YouTube from one of our customers. We called it the Photo Booth Boss. It's actually a YouTube series that I did where I took a customer from 0 to 100,000 last year in 10 months with a brand new photo booth business. He's never done photo booths before. He used to work corporate job. He quit his corporate job, and now he's doing photo booths. So you'll get access to that inside the global app. So really give you everything you need. When I hear people saying, "Oh, I'm not doing good," I can guarantee that you can put in any work. I mean, if you look at it like most diets work, yeah, eat less, go to the gym 3 times a week, it works, right? And then you look at people who are, not getting results with that, it's like you're not putting in the work, so.
And kind of going back to your earlier point, like, yeah, there's cheaper photo booths out there, I'm sure, but it kind of goes back to what kind of clientele. It seems like you have a niche, and your niche is higher end customers and higher end corporate, and which more money, and in my experience, has been easier to work with these higher end people. Like, for example, when I have my rental property, it's in a working class neighborhood, but it's a nice neighborhood that I would personally live in. And I found that my experience with tenants has been a lot more pleasant than I have other friends and family in lower income sections, and people that aren't, I guess, willing to, really work with them, or just more like a hassle or headache to deal with. So I think that kind of goes back to your earlier point. You can kind of pay that money or time up front, or pay it on the back end. So I think it's one good point to note.
We're doing it the cheapest way and charging the cheapest possible. It's a race to the bottom. It's only a matter of time where I'm going to do it for $100. I'm going to do it for $90. I'm going to do it for $80. I'm going to do it for $70. I mean, we see this all the time. I've been doing this for 10 years. I used to go to like trade shows, and some of these guys are like, oh yeah, the customer will go back and forth, and like they'll come to me like, oh, this guy over here said he'll do it for this much. Can you lower your price? This is our price. This is what we offer. I know what professionalism I bring to the table. I'm going to get to your event early. I'm going to be set up. I'm going to test the equipment. I'm not going to be drinking. I'm not going to be hitting on your guests. I'm not going to be at the bar. I'm going to make sure that grandma gets a photo. I'm going to make sure that, the bridal party gets a photo, and make sure the groomsmen get a photo, those kind of things. People respect that, because it's 3 things in your life, right? The day you were born, the day you get married, the day you die, right? And I mean, you're on somebody's wedding day. It's a big event. You got to make sure it's done properly. If you hire the wrong person or the wrong equipment, I mean, that's a big liability. I mean, you're going to deal with Bridezilla.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess too, yeah, it's like if it's a race to the bottom pricing, I'm sure you're going to have a lot more people, or a lot more complaints or issues come up with those type of customers versus someone that really cares about, good customer service, and especially if you're providing that to them.
Yeah. The whole mindset of starting a business and just doing it cheap as possible, that's no longer working anymore. I mean, we have to stop that. It's not. There's people out there that's willing to pay. I mean, who's buying Lamborghinis? Who's buying G-Wagons? Those people are getting married too. How do you find them? Who's servicing them? If we all just doing the cheapest thing possible, getting the cheapest events, servicing the cheapest customers, someone's getting all the money somewhere else. I'm more interested in that. Like, how do we get that slice of the pie?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a good point. But yeah, kind of moving on to our next question. Is there anything you wish you would have known before getting started with the photo booth industry?
Yeah, I wish I would have like accounting course, learning a little bit about like how to read a profit and loss statement, how to read a balance sheet. Starting off as entrepreneurs, you just want to focus on like, I just want to do what I like. I want to make money. I want to, if I mow lawns, I want to mow lawns. If I clean pools, I want to clean pools. If I do photo booths, I want to do photo booths. And like when people say, oh, my accountant handles that. If you're starting a business, you need to be responsible. You are responsible for everything. So in my early days, I didn't know anything about accounting. I didn't want to deal with it. I used to always say, oh, my accountant deals with that. If someone tells you that, they don't really know a lot about business. Being a business owner, you can go on Udemy, you can buy a course for $10, and within 30 minutes you can have an understanding of what you need to know so that you don't get screwed over. So one big lesson, if you guys watching, you don't need to know everything. You just need to know enough not to get screwed over. So if you hire an accountant to do your accounting, then you need to know that they're not screwing you over. I had to go back and redo 3 years of accounting because I had the wrong person, because I didn't know what to do. I took responsibility for that. So I would say that, make sure to get the YouTube videos going. I wish I recorded more of my early days. I didn't know it was going to blow up like this. We were doing 800 events a year. Like, man, I don't know if it's going to take off. Like, I wish I had recorded more, so I can go back and make videos and just see your progress. Networking, don't hire friends and family, even though it seems like a good idea. That's almost never worked out for me, except my wife. She works with me. Yeah, those are some of the major ones.
Yeah, I think those are some really good tips. What would you say, how many hours like a week do you take to like manage the photo booth business, I guess now, and then also when you originally got started?
Yeah, so right now we don't do any rentals. Right now we focus on helping people get started with the rentals. So I mean, when you have a team set up, on average, it depends. I would recommend people to do the sales. You can't really outsource sales. If you don't know how to do sales, go read Grant Cardone's book. He teaches you all about sales, and sign up for Cardone University. You can focus on the sales. You can hire people to go work the events. You can hire a virtual assistant to manage the back end of the business, like sending the contracts, sending the designing the photo layouts, for the templates, that kind of stuff. So I think you can manage a 6-figure photo booth business, 10, 20 hours a week. That's outside of actually working the events. If you're not working the events, the photo booth boss, the guy that I was telling you about earlier, he now he gets so much of business now that he now subcontracts out with other photo booth business owners.
Oh, wow. So it sounds like it could be as little hands-on or hands-on as you want it to be. So if you want to actually service the events, maybe make more money in the beginning, you could do so, but you also have the opportunity to hire other people to kind of, get your time back to focus on other parts of the business then.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right, awesome. What about, is there, I guess, any time required with like servicing or repairing the machines, or is that, pretty set to go from day one?
No, it's just updating your computer and, downloading any updates. That's pretty much it. There's not really any servicing. It's just a printer and a computer with the camera. So it's pretty simple.
Okay, that's good to hear. What about like where do you advertise in like your area for your photo booths for rent? I know you talked about like YouTube, Instagram. Is it more so like social media, or is it other avenues in order to really get customers, especially customers that you're looking to get maybe in that high-end niche?
I recommend starting off with Facebook ads. We didn't have that, 10 years ago. All we had was Craigslist. So we would like create multiple accounts and like repost every few minutes and hours and stuff. But yeah, Facebook ads, I mean, you can do it right from your phone. We actually have a video on our YouTube channel. That's a big part of how Photo Booth Boss got to like 100,000 was through Facebook ads. So $5 a day, you can do an ad that plays a video of someone with a photo booth. And then if somebody wants to inquire, they send you a message to your business page. So you don't even need a website nowadays. Like it's so crazy, It's so easy with Facebook. I mean, you just set the radius and you say, hey, target people interested in weddings and engagement rings and wedding photographers. You just like put those 3 and like you can get leads right away.
Okay. What about, is there any, I guess, free avenues you would suggest? Maybe like does Craigslist still work, or Facebook Marketplace, or like even OfferUp? You put like
I'm sorry, I totally forgot about that. Yeah, so you got OfferUp, you got FreeUp. Marketplace. There's another site called Thumbtack. That one is paid though, but it's good. You can get a Wedding Wire, The Knot, Yelp, Google My Business, and then YouTube, and then also outreach. Reach out to local venues. Say, hey, I'm a new photo booth company. I'll do a free event for you so you can see my services, and then would you consider adding me to your vendor list or recommending me to your customers? And that's a good way to get your foot in the door. Take them donuts. Just not everything can be like DM and message. You got to have some it's a human element.
Definitely, yeah. More so, yeah, kind of putting your name out there and getting that go-getter attitude. What about, I know like a big question I'm gonna get is how much money can you make in a month with like a single photo booth, and then also say a photo booth business owner with multiple photo booths?
Yeah, I would say, a single photo booth, you can probably in a month, let's say 5 to 10,000, and then you just multiply that by how many booths you want to get on top of that.
How many events would you say per month that is to earn like the 5 to 10,000 then?
Around 10. Yeah, 10 to 20, somewhere around there.
Okay, is that basically, would you say every weekend is filled, so like Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You may have 2 events on a Saturday. Like we would do a baby shower in the morning, right? And then afternoon we got a wedding.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Something like that. And then on the Sunday, maybe like a church, you go into a church event, So it's like there's multiple events at different times, Like I look at it as bonuses. I'm like, man, we could work during the day on Saturday, and then you get to work on the weekends and you're off during the week. I mean, take vacations in the week is cheaper. But yeah, that's how much you can make. I mean, Photo Booth Boss, like I said, he had one photo booth. We went from 0 to 100,000 in 10 months. We did that.
Oh, wow.
we're doing a new series now, Photo Booth Boss Babe, where my wife is taking another one of our customers, Leslie, and she's going to try and beat our record. So we're going to see that.
That's cool. Yeah, definitely have to check out the series then.
Yeah, that's on our YouTube channel right now.
Nice. What about, is there any monthly expenses? Say if you're operating it as yourself and then also operating it with like a team of people, what are they and how much are they?
Yeah, so I would pay like employees per an event. You know, it'd be X amount per an event. It could be $100 or $80 or 150, depending on, you know, where you are in the country, that kind of stuff. Monthly expenses, your insurance, your photo booth financing payment, if you have that. If you're operating from your house, it's really good because, you know, you have an LLC set up, you get a lot of tax write-offs from your, ink and paper. It costs about $250 for 1,400 prints. 1,400 prints will last you about 8 to 10 events, roughly around there. So, not super crazy. Right there. That's pretty much it, outside of advertising costs and then your gas and, stuff like that. But that's all, scaling with the amount of events that you have.
Okay. And then kind of going back to the original question about how much money you can make, what would you say is like a manageable number of photo booths one person can own and operate at one time?
One person, I'd say, well, they could do two. They can get a Chloe and you can go drop the Chloe off and then you can have another booth and then you can go attend the other booth, So the Chloe can't be left alone. It's built for that. So I would say two. When you get three, then you have the husband and wife working together. So like you go drop one off, husband works one, wife works one, or something like that. Partners. I recommend. You're there to watch the photo booth because of the people. The people sometimes they get drunk, sometimes they get careless. They punch the screen, kick the screen, that kind of stuff. You're not really there for the photo booth, but you're there to like make sure the people are behaving.
Yeah, that's a good little tip. So yeah, I guess it wouldn't be unreasonable to assume that one person can make anywhere from say like 10 to 20,000 a month. But if you want to scale up, maybe it's a husband-wife combo and they have 3 photo booths, potentially 15 to 30,000 a month. Would you say that's pretty reasonable then?
Yeah, I mean, you're not going after the cheap people at that point. You're making sure like, hey, you're servicing the high-end people. You contacted the high-end venues, you're putting out good quality content, you have good photos and videos off your photo booth, which we actually give to you when you buy a photo booth from us. We actually got videos and photo. I forgot to add that. So you get actually all of that. It's putting in the work. It's how you present yourself. The money is there. Somebody's making the money. If you look at yourself like, hey, if I'm cutting lawns and somebody's making $2 million cutting lawns, then I should be able to do that. Right? Somebody out there is making millions of dollars. You can see I got my plaques on the wall as a ClickFunnels plaque, making $1 million renting photo booths. If I can do it, you can do it. It's out there. You just got to go after it.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I think it's a great proof of concept that someone's already did it. So why recreate the wheel when you could just basically mimic it and then try to get the same or similar results? So I think that's a great point. And I guess to that, so it sounds like, you could scale up or do it whatever kind of level you want, whether it's one or multiple, but it sounds like it's pretty reasonable to say that you could replace your 9-to-5 job with running your own photo booth and setting your own hours. Is that true then?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Photo Booth Boss, he quit his job. He was working as district manager at 7-Eleven, making $85,000 a year plus company car, all gas paid, all that stuff. He left that job to do his business because he wanted more time with his family. He wanted more freedom. He wanted to control how much he wanted to make, right? You want to make more money? Just go work more events, right? If you have a job, if you want to make more money, what are they going to tell you? Wait till the next time you get reviewed and we're going to give you more responsibility and you don't know how much the raise is going to be. Yep. I was working at the call center, man. I remember getting a 35-cent increase for an annual review. It was terrible.
Oh, wow. Yeah, especially you wait all year and then it's like, I feel like you're just disappointed. Why not? Yeah, exactly like you're saying, set your own hours, set your own expectations and put more time in and get rewarded for that. So the next question I have, is it too late to get started with photo booths and is the market too saturated?
It's not. Events and weddings are part of human society. That's not going to go away for sure. As far as being saturated, there's more people with iPad booths, but there's not a lot of people who have invested good money to service the high-end events. I'll tell you that much. Anyone can get an iPad, And since the day we started, people were like, well, I can just take a photo with my phone. But it's the experience that you're selling when the family gets in front of the camera and they're all giggling and laughing. A phone's not going to get that experience, and, they get the high quality photos. 2020 took out a lot of people in the market. So it was like a reset. So it's like reset everybody, right? Some people left. because they couldn't survive. So that opened up more opportunity. And then when you got more opportunity, I mean, when you got a shortage of suppliers, and then there was a record of events that got postponed in 2020 that got pushed over to 21 and 22. And that's kind of what we're seeing right now. So you got increased demand and there's a shortage of suppliers. So, I mean, we haven't, we haven't seen any shortage or saturation on it. I mean, I don't think that's going to be a problem. It's too many, there's so many people moving to Texas now. I'm in Dallas, we're having like everybody from California and stuff's moving over here. Like that's just more demand for us. So, yeah, I hope that answered the question.
Yeah, I think that was a great response. So yeah, it seems like still a lot of, I guess, potential out there. So
Yeah.
definitely.
And people come and go in the market, right? Some people buy a photo booth, they do it for a couple of years. Maybe they move to another city. Maybe they get they have a change in family. Maybe someone gets sick or something like that and they stop doing it. So, just like any business, people come and go. It's not, some people don't stay with it forever. So it's like, always evergreen.
Yeah, that's a great point. What about, who would you recommend to not try running a photo booth business?
I recommend not trying if you are not willing to do whatever it takes to be successful. If you like having the comfort of having a 9 to 5 and, have security and having that paycheck come in every 2 weeks, then you can, it's not for you. Because in order to be successful, I mean, you have to do whatever it takes. If it means you got to get into the camera and you got to say, hey guys, this is Josh's photo booth. Here's my photo booth. Here's my Chloe photo booth. It has a beautiful mirror here. It has a camera here. If you can't make a simple video like that to send to a potential client when somebody inquires about your service, then you shouldn't be doing it. You really need to say, hey, or you want to say, hey, you know what? I'm willing to do whatever it takes, because the pain of me having to request time off and the pain of me having to deal with my coworkers who don't give a damn about the job. If that pain is more than the pain of you standing in front of the camera because you're shy, then you should do it. It's like a pain tolerance. I mean, I got family members right now. I told them 10 years ago, get started with the photo booth business, and they were scared, they like their safe job. And now, now they have a child, they got to request for time off. They got working crazy schedules. I mean, it's a shame to see someone leave their kid to have to go to work when you don't have to do that. We got customers now, David from Photos y Recuerdos, he takes his 2 daughters. He has 2 daughters, 7 and 9. He takes them to the events. One daughter operates the photo booth, so she touches the screen for the customers. And they're all dressed up with their company logo and everything. And the other one manages the props table. And he's in the back eating cake. Right? So you got to think about what you want, and you think forward, like, hey, what does my life look like if I make this thing successful? Is people making money? Yes. Am I willing to do that? Yes. It's going to be, would I have more freedom in my life? Yes. I mean, it's freedom. I worked at a 9 to 5 job. It's not for me. I hated asking for time off. I hated missing events or having to work on a Saturday or something like that. Obviously you're working on Saturdays with the events, but you can control it. Like, hey, now working on Saturday to make $15 an hour, working on Saturday to make $850. Like 850 is the less of a blow, and I know, like, I can go hire someone to work that out and I can be chilling, So that's how you need to approach it. And that's how you should approach anything.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a great mindset to have. What about kind of just wrapping up the whole interview? Do you have any final tips for anyone who's looking to get started?
Yeah, I mean, learn as much as you can and take action. I got people that be like, Josh, I've been following you for 5 years. I'm ready to do the photo booth. You know how much opportunity you missed in 5 years?
Yep.
I mean, get started as soon as possible. If you fail, then you fail. Then go and try something else, right? If you wait 5 years to try something, it could have been the thing that you could have blown up with 5 years ago. Speed has always been a big indicator for success for me. Go fast and break things, right? I think Mark Zuckerberg said that. So that's what I'm recommending. We can all do so much research till our eyes bleed on YouTube, and then you get so confused. There's so much information now. Information is no longer in a problem. I got that in my first page of my book. It says right here. Page. It says, this is what it says. The future will be about execution. Take action on what you learn in this book. right? It's not about information. You don't need more information. We're all overloaded with information. We need to take action now, right? Decide, do you want to start a photo booth business or are you going to go work a 9 to 5? Make a decision. Don't be stuck in between. I'm not sure yet. Whatever. I'm thinking about this. I'm doing the, FBA. I'm flipping couches on eBay. I'm doing, MLM. I'm doing network marketing. I'm doing all these things. Pick one thing and go hard in it. Whatever it is.
Yeah, definitely agree. I think too many people these days have analysis paralysis, where they just, like you said, study for years and then never take action. Where I would argue to say, if someone maybe studied for 6 months, but then, your example, did 4.5 years of actual experience, I'm sure they're going to learn a lot more. Or even if they did half a year of experience versus 4 or 5 years of just watching YouTube videos, reading, consuming all this content. But yeah,
do the opposite of what the masses are doing. If the masses are saying go to college, don't go to college. I didn't go to college. My sales manager, he's making multiple 6 figures now. He got a finance degree. He went to college for 4 years, got student loans, got the whole deal, blah, blah, blah. Worked at BNSF. 2020, they fired him over Skype. He was out of a job. He saw one of my webinars, ended up buying a photo booth from us. Now he works, in the office with us. We got to control our own destiny. We got to control it. I want to be the reason why I don't have money, not because a job fired me that I was dependent on.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I think that's a great point to end on as well. But yes, I want to thank you for your time, Josh. I feel like I learned a lot all about photo booths, and I'm sure my viewers did as well. But we'll be leaving your links down below in the description box if anyone wants to see more of your videos, so check out your website. So thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
All right, take care.